it is quite unusual to have two trains running parallel, let alone have a circus on board. So, perhaps I should go investigate this circus train and make sure everything is above board. Hello, and welcome back to the Lost Legends of Scadrial Mistborn Adventure Game Podcast. I'm your host and narrator-Trevor, and with me I have the rest of the well-roasted dusters.
Hello, I am Lena, also known as Beladora Wilde.
I'm Zach, and I play Finnigan Bomon.
I'm John, I go by Clovermite Online, and I play Clydus Logan.
So we are going to jump back in, not immediately after the events of the last episode, but fairly soon in, and I want to, before we do that, go ahead and take care of a couple of questions. There are some assumptions that I have first that I want to make sure that are correct. You would be vacating as much as you could from that warehouse as soon as possible, correct?
Leave nothing behind.
Correct.
So like that place, like other than like whatever the circus has got going on there for the rest of the time.
Hell, I would not be surprised if Bella just burned the place down to get rid of the evidence.
I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen.
I'm not saying. I mean, if go ahead. If that's.
Trevor's saying if you want that to happen, you have to say that it happened.
But yeah, you guys weren't like making that your home base or anything like that.
Nah.
Nope.
Nah.
Okay, so where are you going from here?
It's an excellent question. I'd like to think we packed everything up and we started down the road, and 5 minutes in, Finn asks where we're going. What?
Where are we going?
Oh, Russ, that's a good question. Well, we can't go back to the ranch. That's too far. These here...
that would be quite a long walk-ins.
Oh, yeah. Pretty sure.
I don't think Stallion could take the long walk again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine to keep walking. You lads are carrying my stuff anyway, so...
How do we get roped into that?
Because she's in charge.
I think that you guys at least have some way of getting things loaded up. So, maybe you've got a truck and Hinston is driving, or if you guys are taking advantage of like transportation from them, that'll be the stipulation from me, is that Hinston will be with you.
Then I'd like to think that just at this moment, Hinston pulls up with the truck and just gives us a look. Oh, hell.
Okay, yeah.
Alright, let's get in. I owe you one, punk.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's interest to be protected if you, Anyway, we can't talk here. Just load everything that you have in the truck and try and keep it separate from the pile that I have, and we'll get out of here before anybody gets implicated in anything. I mean, you're just carrying a box of firearms down the street. Did you have nothing planned?
Well, I thought you said we were not talking about this. Now you shut up and we'll just get on the truck.
Just tell them.
Noted.
I'd like to think that, like, Clydus uses himself as the divider and just basically lays across the entirety of the truck bed as he, like, rests everything else on the other side of him.
You go ahead and load everything up. So Clydus is in the back. That will leave Bella and Finn to kind of squish up front. We'll say that this is just a single row cabin. Do we have a marching order for who's squished next to what?
I think Finnigan would be in the middle.
I think that's probably accurate.
Bella wouldn't stand for something like that. She'd want the window view.
So true.
I imagine that, like, Finn goes and then tries to open the door for her, and then Bella looks at the door, looks inside, and then looks back at Finn, and Finn just immediately climbs into the truck. Do you have a destination in mind, or are we going to one of our safe houses?
You know, honestly, I don't think any of us thought we'd get this far. So, what do you suggest?
Well, we weren't expecting to have to make such a hasty exit, but with the police already waiting for whatever the hell that was, and the explosions going on, we figured a hasty retreat might be best. But there's a safe house of ours not too far away that we can go and lie low in and figure out what's going on.
Well, if you want to know whatever that was, my not friend, I'd say it was a little bit of survivorist anarchy.
Yeah, that doesn't explain why the police were already waiting at the station.
Survivorist anarchy.
That's just
survivorist anarchy.
It's just a buzzword. Like, they just hear it on the street from the young people who just post on these boards. It's a weird way to message in this city, but they just have these boards that people put these buzzwords on, and they think that they're smart.
Trevor, are you creating old-timey 4chan?
Get results. Old West 4chan.
Kelsier would definitely found 4chan if he had the idea.
Would it be like High Noon Chan, considering it's like Western? Or
I don't know. I don't even know what the 4 and 4
or like 12chan.
All I'm saying is that the police involvement here is a real variable that we need to figure out before we make any sudden moves.
Well, it sounds like someone knew that something was going to happen, and something happened, and then the police were like, oh, hey, someone told us something was going to happen. So, I feel like that's more on the lines of, who told them something was going to happen.
But they weren't waiting for... It seemed like there was... Clydus, you talked to them. What was going on?
Clydus is in the back. He didn't hear any of this.
Is there like a window?
There's like a tiny window that
he's listening for.
In that case, you can hear snoring coming from there.
Let me roll a quick physique here. Clydus, you get a face full of water as Hinston grabs a water bottle from in between his legs and Finn's legs and just throws a squirt out the window, and it lands right on your face.
Rusted ruin. What
old-timey trucks have cup holders
bangs
too?
His head on the roof like as he's like jumping up. What's the matter with you? Can't a man get some sleep in here?
Clydus, we're trying to figure out what happened and what the police were after, and you're the only one who talked to them.
I don't know. They got some kind of tip from someone. Maybe you should look up the chain. They seem to be very interested in the wilds, though, so I'm not sure what that means.
It's a family curse.
Well, we both know what was in that, or not both of us, but we all know what was in that car. So, what does that mean?
I don't know. You're supposed to be the smart brain guy. I just go shoot stuff. Clydus rolls over and tries to go back to sleep.
He also sneaks up on things, but I don't think he wanted to mention that right at the moment.
Watch your blood, friend.
Hinston angrily kind of just shuts the window, but it gets stuck like halfway through, and he has to mess with it a little bit to get it pushed all the way. Everybody give me a spirit roll.
Am I down to 1 now? I forget.
My favorite.
Let me check.
Let me see.
I am. I
where
spent
I'm
one. I forget what I spent it on.
Yes, you will have it.
Spirit.
Yeah.
I got 2s, baby.
No.
Ooh, I'm still at
It's a
4.
nudge.
I got 5s and a nudge.
Okay, yeah. So with those decent spirit rolls, you guys make it back to not back to, but you make it to a small house where Hinston gets out and he pulls out a key ring and he opens up the door, And the house looks pretty nondescript on the outside. And there's bare furnishings. It doesn't quite look lived in. It looks livable, but not like anything extravagant, no personal touches or anything like that.
So my first thought when you said bare furnishings was I was picturing like, the bearskin rug, a stuffed bear in the corner somewhere, maybe like a bear knocker or something like that. And that was my first thought.
The doorknob has been carved into the face of a bear.
Yeah, that's the aesthetic I'm looking for.
No, it definitely is not a luxurious exotic hunting lodge. Quite the opposite. It is a fishing shack. I mean, it's not a fishing shack, but there's nothing homey about this home. And so he gets out and he starts unloading the boxes of firearms that you guys had split off for the mob to take for the half share. Because I assume you did that without question, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Drugs are where I draw the line. Why don't tell me. It was a choice in the moment. I don't know why that was like.
I mean, I'm not necessarily sure he's wrong for that. It's just it is an interesting place to make that distinction.
I mean,
I will give the mob guns, but I draw the line at drugs.
I mean,
drugs kill people.
It was just
okay?
like I don't know why Finnigan doesn't like this, but he doesn't like it, and we're gonna go with that.
I mean, hey, no judgment, just observation. It is an interesting choice to make.
And maybe I'll figure out somewhere along the way why he doesn't like them, but at this point, I'm at a loss myself. It just seemed like, yeah, Finnigan doesn't like this, and that was it.
Hey, it works for me. And, you guys blew up the train, and that's a very interesting choice as well. So,
I mean, as we've determined, it was the choice that Bella set in motion.
Yeah, she foreshadowed that shit a long time ago.
True. Although, as we all really know, it was her brother. Wink.
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 Nudge.
That sounds like Kelson.
Definitely my shitty brother, the one that blows things up. Definitely not me.
I mean, he was
burned down his own house.
I mean, he was blowing something up that we blew up. So
I'm assuming our plan is to just pawn this stuff, right?
That depends. I will go ahead and say that if you guys are just chilling in the city for right now and you don't have a real plan, it's not a real plan, but a specific plan for the moment, we will go ahead and count this as a long breather. And so I think the way I'll handle this is if there is a weapon that you might be interested in adding to your props without taking away a prop value, I would allow that. Otherwise, we can maybe add a certain number of negative resources as a way, if you want to just sell everything to the mob and get money out of it.
Good question. I'm going to have to look at them weapons.
looking at the props.
Where'd I put that manual?
There's the alloy one is in useful info, and I can grab my
Oh, there we go.
Masks of the Past supplement if I need to. I like how half of Bella's props are already weapons.
She's never actually shot the shotgun.
That's true.
But that Molotov has gotten some good use.
Yeah.
I wish we would have started tracking how many times you've thrown a Molotov cocktail with Bella.
Wait, she has it as a prop?
At least twice.
Yeah. That is just a recurring prop.
Wow. Why did Clydus go and buy all them all the time? She already had them.
Well, because I only have one in my arsenal at a time.
It's more than what Clydus has.
Maybe Clydus needs to get good.
True. Actually, on that note, maybe I'll do that.
Just make another Molotov in your inventory permanently?
Or can I do the dynamite?
Strong choice. Yeah, you can do dynamite.
Let's do dynamite. 1 stick of dynamite. Actually, nah. You go with the Molotov cocktail. Dynamite's too dangerous to be carrying around willy-nilly.
Peer pressure.
I feel like the only weapon I'd want is a hammer.
Maybe I'll just give Bella some brass knuckles. Definitely her style.
Finn, I don't know what all else you have, but I would also accept maybe weapon modification to a current weapon, if that's something anybody's interested in.
I've got what I've got currently is the Heidling pump action shotgun.
There are some interesting weapons in here. An automatic pistol. There's a high-spell long-shot pistol, which is kind of a mix between the two, lever-action rifle and pistol.
Mm-hmm.
There is a debilitation syringe for against Khandra.
Oh.
A non-Khandra suffers the attack's damage plus 4 different additional damage due to the toxicity of the chemical.
Ooh.
Let's see. A repeating crossbow. You could get some Haze Killer ammunition if you like. I'd give a couple charges of that, but they would not. They would be one-time use.
Mm-hmm.
I can't give this stuff out yet. Maybe next season.
What stuff?
It was the misting grenades.
Oh.
Called a primer box, I guess.
Out of curiosity, would there be anything like an attachment I could put on my pump action to make it usable for as a club, more melee style weapon as well?
Let me see. I think there's some weapon modification stuff in the regular book. Did anybody happen to go to that?
Not I.
What was your question?
Weapon modifications.
Oh, I've never messed with the weapon modifications.
In Alloy. Like, if anybody's near that in the book already.
I'm looking at the
That's
custom, or the special ammo right now. Where would I go for the modification? Sample customized.
138, maybe.
Okay. What are we looking at? What are we looking for?
If there's maybe a melee attachment we can put on a gun.
Oh, that's interesting. That might be good for Finn. A metal mined grip. Grip includes a metal mine that holds 25 charges.
Where's...
See.
It looks like a lot of these are saying that you can add like different traits to them. So, I'm gonna say that what we can do is add a trait to it. You can, when using it as a club, it can give you 2 free nudges.
Okay, I like that.
I think that sounds pretty decent for an upgrade.
I like the sound of that.
Can I
Thank
get
you.
aluminum ammunition?
Sure.
I feel like that would be more Clydus' thing. Actually, would he go for aluminum or would he go for pewter arm? That's a good question.
Either one I think that I will give you. Let's see what it says, if it has anything about how like rare they are or anything like that. They're all oh, okay, but yeah, it does give you. So, it would be the 10 rounds that it lists. Okay. Of whatever you end up choosing.
Trying to think what Clydus would prefer. Aluminum is a little bit more flexible, but on the other hand, if you're going to be shooting a gun and it's not aluminum itself, is aluminum ammunition going to help much? Maybe you'd prefer to have something with a little more punch.
I will say that the way that it looks like the aluminum ammunition works meta-wise, if you're not used in an aluminum gun, you lose damage. And range.
I think I'll just go for a boost to my resources.
Okay. Since they're getting like pretty decent stuff, I'm gonna say you're gonna get a -2 resources for it.
Nice. Okay.
Booyaka shot.
Go for coin shot ammunition.
And then for long rest or for long breather, I do lose my current -1 resource, correct?
Yeah, everything. Or no, I think I'll let you keep it for now. But now that you bring it up, I think that's a good balance for the negative resources. And so I am hereby instituting the player gives the DM a bad idea rule, and that is the rule from now on. If we get to the end of a long breather and you haven't used your negatives,
They go away.
And in that case, I'll bump your negative up to 3, Bella, since they won't be as powerful.
All right.
It's a compromise there, since Zach just threw you under the bus.
Well, no, I still had a -1, and I thought that was a rule in the game.
All the benefits? No, the negative ones are all my creation.
Oh, okay.
That's why they're so confusing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I had to go and root for everybody, Zach. Jeez.
Does my spirit go back up?
Your spirit will go back up. Everybody who has spent things, those will be reset. I'm going to go ahead and give everybody 3 advancements for the ghost train. Because we're not quite finished yet, depending on how this next part goes. Which I'm not sure if we'll have time to get into the meat of all of it, what I had planned. But there might be some more before we move on to the next arc, instead of more of this wrap up kind of thing that we're doing now.
And then how many charges do I gain?
In this long rest, it's not going to be a very long rest. Yeah. And so I think that you only get 10 charges back right now.
Okie dokie.
Do we get to advance?
Yep. If anybody wants to spend points or heal burdens, you have the opportunity to. Although you two who just spent a bunch of stuff might not have enough to do anything but change a trade, it looks like.
Nah, I'm good.
I'm good.
I think Clydus is going to go full jack of all trades and bump up that charm to a 5.
All right, yeah. 555, that's impressive. All right, so you guys spend a couple of days hiding out in this little spare apartment that Hinston has. Hinston kind of comes and goes, and slowly the all of the merchandise that you guys aren't keeping gets moved out, and you guys are compensated for the amount of the shares that you gave up of your own back to the mob. They paid you pretty willingly for that. But it's a couple of days after everything's finally been moved out when Hinston arrives and gathers everybody together. I've got some bad news. Ringling has been in contact with me, and there's been an inspector who's been dogging his footsteps, so to speak, and has forced him to give up my name and the rest of us as part of the group that hired him. And this inspector wants to come and have a conversation with us.
Should get our clown clothes on.
Is he like a train inspector?
He is not that kind of inspector, no.
Ah, so it's the law kind of inspector.
Yes, Finn, it's the law kind of inspector.
Should we put our clown clothes back on?
I don't think that will be either necessary nor helpful, but we...
So what's our alibi? What's our story? Do we just like circus trains enough that we wanted to hire one, or?
I don't see why not. Brilliant idea, if I do say so myself.
Circus train enthusiasts. We're investors.
Okay, I mean it's a decent enough story as far as stories go. It's the real question comes down to what is it that he could ask us that could put us in jeopardy. It doesn't seem like there were any witnesses. Everything went pretty clean until the train blew up. But what do we know about that?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I saw smoke.
Well, I wanted to bring it all to your attention before we have this meeting with him. He's quite insistent that we have it in the next few days. So, be sure that you're ready for that.
I'll go get my clown clothes.
Yes, Clydus, you can definitely put on your clown outfit. I think that, in fact, if you just want to keep it on at all times, I think that would be quite fitting.
I'm sure you would, punk. I'm just saying, I do happen to be a known figure among the law enforcement of Ellendale, so probably best not to keep my true identity out in front when we're talking to the inspector.
I mean, there was that one lady that we worked with briefly on that one thing where her brother was involved, and I mean, Bella and I are somewhat known because of that.
And there's also the fact that we're wanted by Veretta and her family, which has sort of spilled over into Ellendale.
Ah, that's not that important.
Well, and it was a wild car that they were looking for. That does pose a problem if they know your real names. I was the point of contact with her. No, Bella was the point of contact. So, Bella, what did you tell Ringaling that your name was?
Probably just Bella. I don't know if I would have given my full name.
I thought I suggested Celadora Filed.
You suggested a few things.
I don't remember if I actually said what I introduced myself as, but I feel like knowing that Daisy had told us before that eyes were going to be on us in Ellendale, I wouldn't have given my real name.
Okay, how about we'll make it a wits roll, and I'll give you +2 because that's fair.
Okay.
And we're gonna make it a difficulty 2.
That was 4s.
Yeah, so you definitely came up with a fake name. Did you come up with fake names for everybody?
I don't know if I gave anybody else's name out. Like, I probably
Okay.
wouldn't have thought that they were important enough to mention.
So
fair.
what would be the name then that you gave?
That's a really good question. Is there like a names list that I can pull up?
There is on page... What page was that on? I normally have it pulled up just in self-defense from John.
I'm just Googling Mistborn Noble Name Generator. How about Jidrard Razla?
I don't think Bella knows how to pronounce that. I definitely don't.
It's pronounced Jidrard Razla.
Yeah, you gotta be able to say your own name. It's gotta be here somewhere. Here it is. It is on page 94 of the Alloy of Law.
How about Hentel Icelia?
My name is Roselle something. Would there have been
From the long line of something.
another like kind of noble-ish family from out in the area-ish that I was from?
Let me check.
I got more auto-generated names if you want them.
You could have been snarky and used Christophori as your last name.
I should have.
That would have fun.
My name is Roselle Hinston.
I've been saying Irvine, but it's Irvin. There's no I. I've been picturing it with an I in my head this whole time, and it's just Irvin.
How about Yanti?
Does that sound like a name?
I mean, if we're still just throwing out random suggestions, I really like May Molzer.
Molzer?
What?
May Molzer. It was a combination on that page of a female name with one of the commoner surnames.
Commoner. Oh, I didn't even see the surnames. I don't have eyes, I don't think.
Hey, it kept some of the names from last time. I see Flumar and Trussell and Olda in there. Or Trissel. How about Lut?
Like Lit.
You could go with the kind of tongue-in-cheek last name and go Barnum.
I kind of like this Eckham one. Roselle Eckham. That's
Eckham.
I'm typing
Sounds
it.
like a
There we go.
tinkerer. I like it. Roselle Eckham.
Rose Eckham.
I mean, let's be for real. That does sound like a venture capitalist name right there.
It kind of does.
Yeah, it very much
Yeah.
does. All right, with that little piece of retcon minutia taken care of, do you guys have anything else to say to Hinston that day?
Well, looks like I'll need to get a Monopoly Man mustache.
No, Clydus just takes a nap.
Maybe I should dye my hair. Maybe a
All
haircut.
right, well, we have just until the end of the week to go and talk to the inspector before he, from what I've been told, he will then make it more difficult for us and he will take a more aggressive stance. So be ready by then and I will come collect you and we'll head to the station together.
So we're going on the very last day just for the power play.
Make him sweat a bit. I'm game.
It does sound like something Roselle Eckham would do.
Yeah, Roselle has a very busy schedule. She's a very busy woman.
I mean, we could all just skip town, too. I mean, we don't have to talk to this man. We could just try and disappear.
Where's the fun in that?
Oh, that's
huh?
the coward's
There's-
way out, Hinston. Come on.
There's just no closure there, I think. It's not about some messed up... Man, you really need to get off of those boards. You've got a really messed up sense of what a coward is.
Oh, it's just too fun. Especially watching those little boys running back and forth with their messages, posting them bills up on the boards. Showing the modern age, Hinston. Loosen up a little.
I mean, I really like the one that had line, slightly lower line, and then sideways line.
Man, that was just a drunk man. Weren't intentional at all. I watched him fall on top of that piece of paper. But, of course, people think it's trendy, so it starts popping up on all the boards around town.
No, actually, that one really did speak to me quite deeply.
Of course it did. The one that speaks to you is the one for some drunk bastard who just fell over on top of it.
Clydus, did you ever stop and think, why is this bastard drunk? You see, the pain that
It's
caused
simple,
the drunk that
because
were
he
in those
drank
lines.
too much. Why else is anyone drunk?
I cannot spend any more time on a bit about loss. It exists. I don't regret it, but we gotta move on. We can't. I'm not getting into loss anymore. No, no, it's done. What have I done? What has Zach done?
I thought it was beautifully played. Honestly,
No, it is, but we can't go down that road anymore. Does anybody have anything else left for instant?
Nope.
I suppose I should go talk to Ringling and see what he told the inspector.
I mean, if you, I could definitely make that happen, but he just told them that he was hired for the position and then gave an accounting of what he saw that day. And from what I understand, everybody did a good job of making sure that they weren't seen when they were going between the trains. So
sounds like venture capitalism is kind of like our best alibi.
That's unfortunate for us.
Yeah, I mean, the circus train will never get off the ground with such a tragedy like the other train blowing up next to it. Like, that's a Black Swan event for sure. You guys are sunk.
I mean, we could go to the inspector. Do you know how much money we lost in this investment?
I'm sure that if we make good use of the boards, we could turn it around. Everyone loves a little irony.
Or we can try to get him to invest.
I went from -4 resources to -1 resource.
I mean, you still sold the tickets. The event itself was profitable, but like, how are you going to sell tickets onto the next circus train when the next circus train might be next to another exploding train? You know.
I mean, that's part of the risk that people would have to take as part of the
Yeah,
entertainment.
we sell special suits to protect from flying debris.
Maybe our play should just be that we try to sell this inspector really hard on the whole circus train idea.
Oh, that's a good idea, Bella.
It's like a
you
pitch
and
for
I
an
are gonna
investor.
draw up some pamphlets that are going to look as unprofessional as possible.
We're gonna turn this inspector into an investor.
Inspector Investor.
Hell, we could put them on the boards. Get word across town. Circus train rises from the ashes.
This is the moment. You guys are going straight. The only thing that you guys are doing is circus train from now until the end of time.
No, see, the thing is that we just need to con this inspector into, like, investing with us, and then we just vanish.
Say, punk, and you wanted to avoid this? This is gonna be fun as hell.
The true Vanishers act.
The question is, where is the crime within the crime within the crime?
The crime is not invested in this opportunity. This circus train is gonna be the biggest thing that Ellendale has ever seen. I guarantee.
You might even say it's gonna blow up.
Minor setback.
That's what I'm afraid of. If it blows up, there goes all of my money.
I'm gonna fucking cry. This is so good.
I think it's a solid plan of attack. I'm still a little worried for you guys, but yeah.
You should be.
At least you're a little more organized than when we started tonight.
I'd like to make adjustments to Clydus's clown costume. Instead of a cowboy, it's gonna be like a parody of a businessman.
You've got like the pinstripe, but it's like white and rainbow pinstripe.
And he's still got like the flower hat and the oversized shoes.
I am gonna make this a roll, like an action, if you're trying to alter your costume. Sure. And I'm gonna give everybody 1 or 2 beats, depending on how long they take, before I wrap up tonight, and then we'll jump into the Inspector Investor and next episode.
Which role am I doing?
Are you trying to get a new costume made, or are you trying to change the one that you have?
Change the one that I have.
I'm going to make it a physique roll, but I'm going to make it a -2 because you don't have materials to do it well.
What if I went out and bought him materials as one of my beats?
No, Finn, you need to make the pamphlets and get them posted on the boards. Oh, I got ones.
Ones, I think that you are able to, like, at least make it look halfway like a business suit instead of like a cowboy. Like, it doesn't look like overalls or anything like that anymore. Like, you found a way to change the look, even if it's not a successful look.
By the end of this campaign, Clydus will become a professional cosplayer.
Clydus just gets into miming real hard after the ghost train. Spends his retirement traveling with Ringling. Bella, what would you like to do between now and meeting with the inspector?
There are 2 things in particular I think that she's doing. Number 1, she is changing her look. So she's I think she's probably gonna get her hair dyed to like a nice auburn or something like that. Not like too heavy of a departure. It's still kind of like red adjacent, but not, just so she looks a little bit different from how she normally does. And secondly, she's going to get an outfit that's a lot more like modern and more Ellendale looking. And then the last thing that she's going to be doing is just going kind of full con mode, like putting herself out there around like whatever sphere she needs to make sure that there seems to be it is actually that there is a person named Roselle Eckham that people can ask about and they would know her name.
Okay, so yeah, you're trying to establish a presence at like a bar or something for a week.
Yeah, not necessarily.
You got 3 days
bar,
to make them
like,
love you.
Yeah, networking.
Okay, which one do you want to do right now? I'm not sure if we'll have enough time for both of them. Shopping and hair, or
shopping and hair. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna make this a resources roll, and I'm gonna make it cost 2 resources.
Okay.
So you've got a roll of 7.
I'd like to think it turns into like a shopping montage where it's got the song "I'm coming up."
No, this 100% is Bella being like, I got a bunch of money in my pocket. I'm going to have a day out.
Yeah, for sure.
Treat yourself.
That was 4s and 2 nudges.
Bella has a fantastic day out in Ellendale. You have been stuck on a farm, in a warehouse, and as a clown for like a month now. So as much like if you even want to like do like narrate a little vignette for Bella, like you have a fantastic time finally getting to live in modern civility.
Yeah, absolutely. She has like a spa day, gets all the split ends cut and gets a more fashionable hairstyle going on. Gets a little bit of an auburn hair dye. And then she just, like, goes absolutely ham with her shopping spree. Just, like, tons of outfits.
That
I'd like
just
to
sounds
say,
so right.
Zach, instead of that song, I'm So Fancy would be playing.
Yeah, I think that seems about right.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Or maybe Bad Guy by Billie Eilish.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
And then Finn, what are you doing?
I think I'm gonna try and help Bella establish that this is some kind of venture capitalist scheme. So I am actually gonna, as John suggested, post to the boards and have flyers flyers and things like that going to say that this is a thing we're still trying to get off the ground after our unsuccessful first attempt.
Tell me you used "Rise from the Ashes" as a slogan.
Circus train rising from the ashes. I love it.
One, I just want to say that Sonichu is just turning over in his grave right now and not being able to peck me for introducing this monstrosity into Ellendale of the message boards.
Hey, that's your fault.
It's my fault. It's canon now. Sorry, Brandon. 4chan exists. That's my fault. I've opened Pandora's box and leashed it into your universe.
We should do a poll and let the viewers name what the Ellendale equivalent of the 4chan is.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Or we can just forget about it after this episode. We made a joke.
We can always blame it on the set. I mean, that seems canon.
How do I quantify this into a role? Would this be influence?
Oh God, I hope not.
I'm open to arguments, but influence seems like
or
the
wits
most to me.
Influence or wits, because it's not like you're active, like you know people. It's that you're trying to impress people through your posts.
This week on Lost Legends of Scadrial, we post to a message board. Roll for it.
Are we sure we aren't the well-roasted trolls at this point?
I mean, to be fair, like if even if it fails, it's not like we're actually trying to get the circus train off, right? You're just trying to get word buzzing.
Okay, so yeah, I guess that's the way that I'll do it. Like, are you trying to actually convince people, or are you trying to make it look like an attempt was made?
I'm trying to make it look like an attempt was made.
Okay, let's make that a wits then.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, leave the actual convincing to Bella. She's got that. She's got it in hand.
That is ones and a nudge.
Nice.
With ones and a nudge, I think that you are able to get out. Everybody's just like, who is this guy? He's never posted before. He's just coming here to shill. But But you have made it onto the boards.
Success! I'm a success now.
And I've gotta stop this episode before we do any more damage.
Tips or get out.
Hey guys, guess what? Now I'm all the rage in Ellendale.
Ooh.
Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm gonna get off and rethink my life choices. See everybody in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Mistborn and all related properties are owned by Brandon Sanderson and Dragonsteel Entertainment. The Mistborn adventure game is a product of Crafty Games. Special thanks to Steve Argyle for letting us use his artwork for the logo, and to Boardroom Design for putting the logo together for us. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at LLOS Podcast, or give us an email at lostlegendsofscadrial@gmail.com. We hope that you'll like and share and give us a review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Give me just a second. Let me grab that book on the other side of the room here. Okay, it turns out it wasn't on the other side of the room, and it was in fact right next to me.
Hey!
At least you got some exercise.
Yeah, the stress look. Let me get that heart rate up through pure stress.